How's it going, folks? Sak from Uchu Shelf here. Today I am kicking off a brand new series here on Uchu Shelf known as Manga-ka Spotlight. Now, if you don't know what that is just from the title, I will very briefly explain it. Manga-ka Spotlight is where I'm going to take a mangaka that I am currently into or have newly discovered and give a bit of information on their history in manga, how they became a manga artist or author, and what you should be reading by them. Now, before I get into this first episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and click the little bell so you're notified when a brand new video from Uchu Shelf comes out. And if the title down there wasn't any indicator, the first mangaka that I am going to feature on Manga-ka Spotlight is actually a very well-known anime director by the name of Satoshi Kon. Now, for many anime fans, Satoshi Kon is something of a household name. With many classics such as Perfect Blue, Millenium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, and Paranoia Agent under its belt, it's a pretty safe bet to assume that Kon was nothing short of a directorial powerhouse. However, outside of anime, Satoshi Kon has a wonderful history in manga. Many of his works have actually found their way off of Japanese bookstore shelves and into the hearts of Western readers and fans alike. Now, Satoshi Kon was born in 1963 in Sapporo and went on to study graphic design at Musashino Art University, after which he would create his first one-shot known as Toriko. Not to be confused with this Toriko, however, although that would be a very big leap in terms of creativity. After he graduated, he created a one-volume manga called Kaiki-sen, which was released by Vertical in the West known as Tropic of the Sea. From there, his creative career tended to shift into the anime industry, working on such classics as the second Patlabor movie, Rojin Z, and many more, just to name a few. Now, Satoshi Kon's true journey into becoming the anime legend we all know and love today started in 1993 when he penned the script for and co-produced the fifth JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OVA. Well before, "Is this a JoJo's reference?" became a thing. Thankfully. 4 years later, he would make his directorial debut with Perfect Blue, 5 years after that, Millenium Actress, a year after that, Tokyo Godfathers, and a year after that, the television anime Paranoia Agent, which contained themes from other story ideas Kon felt didn't suit a single project. However, 2006 saw the release of Paprika, a film that Kon himself had wanted to direct right after Perfect Blue, but due to issues with the first film's distribution company, wasn't immediately realized. Now, Kon's career in manga took a backseat to his status as an anime director, and rightfully so, because his vision and talent were absolutely more suited to a medium that moved. However, as a fan of his work in general, I feel his manga is grossly underrated and is on par, if not surpasses his talent, as an anime director. Now, the first manga of his that I immediately recommend to people is Tropic of the Sea. Now, the story takes place in a quaint little seaside village that is in the midst of a large-scale urban development project proving to boost the local economy, drive tourism, and basically bring this town into the modern age. Caught between this all is Yosuke, a young man who must sit by idly and watch his father have a hand in ruining the city that he grew up in, or continuing with his family's tradition of guarding a mermaid's egg until it is time to return it to the sea. Now, I usually have no problem with separating that anime fan hope of every manga deserves an anime, but this honestly feels like a Satoshi Kon feature film just printed onto paper. Some of the elements of the manga definitely deserve to be animated and honestly should be experienced in a moving medium. Especially some of the scenes towards the end of the manga because, oh my god, it would be so cool to see animated. Now, in the same year that Tropic of the Sea came out in Young Magazine, Satoshi Kon had also been working as an uncredited assistant to Katsuhiro Otomo on his widely popular manga, maybe you've heard of it, Akira. A year after, he adapted one of Otomo's movies, World Apartment Horror, into a manga itself. In 1994, Satoshi Kon would go on to collaborate with Mamoru Oshii of Ghost in the Shell and Jinro fame on a manga called Seraphim, which itself unfortunately went unfinished. Kon's final manga before he placed all of his ambition into directing anime was a manga called Opus. Opus ran in Comic Guys magazine from 1995 to 1996. Now, Opus follows a mangaka by the name of Nagai who is in the final stages of finishing up his serialized manga by the name of Resonance. After making the tough decision to kill off one of the popular main characters, Lin, Nagai finds himself working late at night when Lin pops up from the manga's pages, steals the double-page spread of his death, and pulls Nagai into his own manga world. The one-volume manga has Nagai working with his main characters both to defeat the main villain and to find a way home. Now, in some manner, Opus is a manga that is, and probably always will, remain unfinished. Kon put Opus on a permanent hiatus, and after directing Perfect Blue, felt absolutely no reason to return to it, ultimately referring to it as a failure. Now, upon Kon's tragic death in 2010, the unfinished final chapter of Opus was actually found amongst his belongings. The rough, sketchy chapter, told from the viewpoint of Satoshi Kon himself, ties off the manga in actually a very, very unique way. And quite frankly, is actually a rather satisfying ending and gives an entirely new dimension to a manga already playing with the concepts of meta itself. Now, Vertical's 2013 release of Tropic of the Sea comes with a rather interesting look into Satoshi Kon's creative process, how he created manga, how he got into creating anime, as well as other interesting stories. For example, he used his royalties from Tropic of the Sea to pay for hospitalization after he contracted hepatitis A. One quote from this translated interview, however, has always stuck with me. In my own view, I've been wearing the hats of both manga artist and animator, but when I'm introduced in magazines and such, they refer to me as anime director, with my manga artist hat consigned to oblivion. I don't recall ever tossing that hat away, or shuttering that business, but I can't fight society's objective valuation. So it seems that his passion as a manga creator, despite this taking a backseat to his role as an anime director, might have been something that he would eventually return to. It goes without saying that every creator, regardless of the medium with which they create, has a million ideas that never see the light of day. This unfortunately includes Yume Miru Kikai, or The Dreaming Machine, a movie that Satoshi Kon was working on right up until his final days in 2010. In the translated interview, Satoshi Kon goes on to say, "These days, I myself self-deprecatingly settled for manga artist in my previous incarnation. To be quite frank though, I'm more inclined to shorten that to creative genius, just to make it a little bit easier." Thanks for watching this video. Your support over these past few months have been amazing. If you have a mangaka that you would like me to feature on the Manga-ka Spotlight video, leave a comment below or hit me up on Twitter at UchuShelf or on Instagram, also at UchuShelf. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you're notified when a brand new UchuShelf video comes out. And as always, don't forget to support legal manga. If you are unsure how to do that, go to www.wherecanireadmanga.com or buy physical copies from your local book or comic shop or any online retailer. And until next time, folks, happy reading.